I look across the raging war and feel the steady beating of my heart. 嵐の前の静けさに刃を振り下ろしてく。繰り返し A memory fading 今も時代を超えて I tell a story 響く宣戦布告の歌残酷に染まるこの誓いを We're fighting till the bitter end 途切れたい船を汚れた世界を泣き止めて僕らの車を Stop and rewind Stop and rewind 失った希望を壊れた時間のピースは集めて取り戻すために You need a fall and unwind fall and unwind 走り出すことさえも限りない慈しみを導き出す Our page Save your song Save your song
貴様のせいで母さんは
聞かぬわ小難しいダサいクワッパよ生まれ変わって出直してこい
Man, fuck them kids, bro.
Father of the Year, ladies and gentlemen. Father of the Year. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. And I wanted to talk about one of my most favorite Tekken characters of all time. Hell, one of my favorite fighting game characters, Kazuya Mishima, the son of Heihachi Mishima and Kasumi Hachijo. This dude right here is probably low-key OP as fuck. But we're going to talk about the character, the lore, his backstory, all that good jazz. So sit back and relax. So we got to go from the beginning, and that is the reason why Kazuya turned out the way he is. See, he was thrown off a cliff by his father, Heihachi Mishima, and there's reasons behind that. See, his mother had the devil gene in her, and her real goal was not to be married to Heihachi and fall in love with him, but to kill him because she sees the future and he becomes a dictator. So he kills her, throws their son off the cliff because he might have that devil gene in him, which, cough, cough, he does. And we don't see Kazuya for a good couple years. Heihachi, still running Mishima Zaibatsu, decides he wanted to throw a tournament called Tekken. And Tekken means King of Iron Fist, or the Iron Fist tournament. And even though Heihachi was known as, was the biggest threat in karate, and he could not be matched, Kazuya could match him. Because Kazuya wasn't dead. Because the so-called devil gene helped him survive that fall. And he ends up adopting this power to save his life. And not just that, he beats the shit out of his dad and throws him off the same cliff. And also adopted the devil gene. I wouldn't say fully, but it's there. That's where we learned that it's dormant and it's trying to take over. Now, Tekken 2 is where we get to see the split personality of the good and evil in Kazuya. Because, see, you get to see the evil side of Kazuya when he's running the Mishima Zaibatsu. But the good side of him, though, comes out when he meets the love of his life, Jin Kazama. I was about to say Kasumi, but it's Jun. Because Jun is the reason why the good in Kazuya was still there. She saw the good in him. You know that saying that every good man needs a good woman, and that is Jun. Jun is Kazuya's good woman. But the sad thing about all this is he still had the dark side in him. And the reason for it is because of the fact that he still harbors the hate for his father, who is, funny enough, still alive. That cliff must not been as deep as we thought, and Heihachi comes back and beats the living tar out of his son and his devil form and throws him into an active volcano, technically killing Kazuya. And we don't hear from Kazuya for a solid good 20 years. We do know this though, he left Jun pregnant, and Jun was about to give birth to their first child, which is known as the protagonist from Tekken 3 on up as Jin Kazama. Now, we're going to give Jin his own video, but we're still talking about my boy Kazuya. Because in Tekken 3, he was mentioned, but he did not make an appearance because of the fact he was thrown in an active volcano. But we all thought that was the end of his character. Boy, was we wrong. 20 years later, he pops up beating up the Tekken Force. The Tekken Force is pretty much Heihachi's army for the Mishima Zaibatsu. Because by this time, this dude got so much money, he's making weapons. And guess who got a hold of the burning body of Kazuya? G Corporation. The G Corporation is the rivals to the Mishima Zaibatsu. And Heihachi is not happy at the fact that his son is alive. But it's not just that. He really needs to be unhappy that he pretty much is one with the dark side. He is one with the devil gene, which he controlled. Now, Jin, he doesn't know how to control his, but we're not talking about Jin. We're talking about my boy Kazuya. And Kazuya's message to Heihachi in the intro to Tekken 4 is he's coming to get everything back. Because technically, once Heihachi dies, Kazuya is supposed to take up the throne as the Mishima Zaibatsu, but I guess he wants it now since his father wanted him dead so goddamn badly. Now, Tekken 4 does come around, and he also learns that he has a son, and he also learns that his son also has the devil gene in him. Heihachi wants that. Kazuya wants that. They all want that. Jin wants to get rid of it because Jin wants no part of the devil gene, as you'll learn as you play future Tekken games. But just like he did in the first tournament, Kazuya goes through the competition like it's nothing, but come across his son, and him and his son have a fisticuffs as they meet at this little temple that's owned, not a temple, but this little dojo that's owned by the Mishima. And as they're fighting, a third opponent pops up, and it happens to be Heihachi. Now, Jin happens to get away, and that's when he, fully turns into Devil Jin, because this is where we see that he has no control over it. It's like Naruto. He's like Naruto. When Naruto was using the Nine-Tailed Fox at the beginning, he didn't know how to control it. But we're not talking about Jin. Kazuya is the reason why all this stuff is going down, because him and his father have to team up and take on a horde of jack robots. And knowing Kazuya and his hatred for his father, he wasn't about to team up with this dude. He teamed up with them for a minute, but then after a while, he was like, all right, man, fuck this and fuck you, old man. And he pretty much sacrifices his own father to die. Now, it's funny how in Tekken 1, he throws his dad off a cliff. Tekken 2, his dad throws him into a volcano. Tekken 3, no mention. Tekken 4, he tries to sacrifice his father to these jack robots, and he's presumably dead. So it's like back and forth between these two. But the thing about Kazuya is the fact that he pretty much embraced the devil gene. He is all about the devil gene. And the sad thing about it is that there was a certain somebody besides Jun that was trying to help him battle these evil tendencies that are building up in him. Another character that wanted to guide Kazuya back to the light side and saw the good in him was Angel. She only popped up in Tekken 2. Tekken Attack Tournament 1 and 2 don't count because they're not canon. It's pretty much Tekken All-Stars when it comes down to Tekken Attack Tournament. But when it comes to Tekken 2 though, she was just trying to guide him back to the light side. Think about the cartoons back in the day where they had the devil sitting on one shoulder and had the angel sitting on another. The devil was persuading the person to do evil things while the angel was persuading the person to do the right thing. That's pretty much what was going on with Kazuya. Now, it's kind of weird that the angel wasn't a dude and it was a woman. But hey, I didn't write it. Somebody else wrote it. And she would try her hardest to guide him back to the side of the good guys. But sadly, the hatred this dude had for his father, the Mishima Zaibatsu, and all the power he was getting from that was overpowering the good that she wanted him to do. And we all thought that Jun was gonna also persuade him to be a good guy, but the hate was just so real that he just couldn't see past it, ladies and gentlemen. So with his conflicted, emotions and stuff, we learned to see over time that Kazuya actually did try to be a good guy. He really did try, but I guess he didn't try hard enough, because in the next video, we go from Tekken 5, 6, and 7, and also a little bit of Tekken 8. Even though it hasn't been announced yet, we are going to speculate on what my boy Kazuya is going to be doing in that game, because at the end of Tekken 7, spoiler alert, Jin is ready to fight his father. They said that he got to go too. Heihachi's dead, and he has to go with him. So Jin is getting ready and preparing for that all-out devil fight between the two. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for y'all. Peace.